let's talk about JK Rowling. I know I could talk about other stuff like the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama or Rachel Zegler's Snow White, but I think enough people are talking about them. Actually, more than enough people are talking about them. I mean, we get it. Snow White live action is a horrible movie, and Blake Lively is a horrible person. Now move on.
Move away from the jams.
And before anyone gets it twisted, I'm not here to debate whether J.K. Rowling is right or wrong about her transgender viewpoints. No, I'm not going there because I literally cannot defend either side without being critical of something. I'm just here to talk about Joanne, the person. God, this woman is. I don't even have a single adjective to describe her, to be honest. And look, again, I'm not saying this about her because of her opinion, whether for or against an ideology. She has every right to not like an ideology, and she has every right to be upfront and open about it. She doesn't like the ideologies of LGBTQ plus community. She wants to be as against it as humanly possible. She actively works to restrict some of what people in that community want, but she also doesn't want to be called out for it. Instead, she wants to turn around and say she supports the LGBTQ community. Like, seriously? How? If you don't like it, just be vocal about it. But she's just being hypocritical, claiming she likes them while also insisting she was just misquoted, misjudged, miss this, miss that. Just to prove that she's been misjudged, she's now on a rampage trying to tear down other people's reputations.
I'm here for all of the witches.
Our next presenter is Emma Watson. She's proud to call herself a feminist, but we all know she's a witch.
I'm here for all of the witches.
Last year, some stuff went down between her and former Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. To be honest, Rupert wasn't even clear about what he was trying to say, but we will get to that later. Now, after several months, Rowling recently made a tweet on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now under another tweet, I think that's called a retweet, throwing shade at the three actors. Like, after so many months, why? Here's why. They're making a new Harry Potter reboot, and according to HBO, Rowling is very much involved this time, as if she wasn't involved during the original movies. Whatever, I'm not even going to comment on that. And she wants everyone to watch it. Like, we've all heard that Snape will be played by Papa Esidio. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. A black actor, and honestly, I don't have anything against it. I get the idea of trying to do something different in a different medium, and that's totally fine with me. I mean, FNAF fans are out there just taking in everything, books, games, movies, and whatever version of the story they're given, they just accept it. They literally say that each medium represents a different universe, and they move on. Chill group of fans, those FNAF people. And then there were Harry Potter fans who just cannot take change. But my issue with the changes in the Harry Potter reboot isn't the changes themselves. It's the reason behind them. JK Rowling has been accused of being biased against certain race for years, and now this whole reboot is basically being made to clear her name, to make people forget that she has been accused of being transphobic, racist, albanist, and whatever else. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if they made James Potter a lesbian woman in love with Lily who rejected Snape purely because of her sexual orientation. And I don't know. I still remember how after the entire movie series had ended, Rowling suddenly went, "Oh yeah, Dumbledore's gay." Like, why was that even necessary?
She told me that Dumbledore was gay. And she just decided that day that he was gay.
You didn't write anything much about Dumbledore being gay. You just make him gay. Like, why? She clearly doesn't like the idea, but she still wants everyone to believe she's okay with it. Why? Because she straight up has a problem with them, but also wants to earn money off them. I've seen countless big YouTubers defending her, saying she only wants to protect women's rights, and oh really? Then why doesn't she ever talk about anti-abortion laws in the US with the same energy that she uses to tweet against LGBTQ plus issues? Why doesn't she speak about the women in Gaza? What about Ukrainian women? Are women's rights only being violated when it involves LGBTQ issue? Huh? So yeah, she wants everyone to watch this show and believe she's some kind of true feminist and that she's not homophobic, racist, or whatever she has ever been accused of. That she's just been misjudged by the media and the public. And to grab attention, the news of Papa SCDU being casted as Snape has spread like wildfire, which honestly probably won't even last as a final decision. Because then Rowling can turn around and be like, I'm not racist, I wanted to cast a man of color, you guys didn't let me. And now, to grab more attention, she's doing more. As of just last year, Rowling had a whole feud with the Harry Potter actors Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. Daniel was asked by a reporter about the whole situation, and he literally said, I'm quoting him from Rolling Stone, I realize that certain press outlets will probably want to paint this as infighting between JK Rowling and myself, but that is really not what this is about. Nor is it what's important right now. Transgender women are women. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associations who have far more expertise on the subject matter than either Joe or I. Tell me, do you find anything wrong with what Dan said? Did he attack JK Rowling anyhow? Did he belittle her? Did he say she's wrong? He was literally asked by a reporter and he just shared his opinion without even attacking Rowling. And yet Rowling responded with, they can save their apologies, as if Dan did something wrong, horrible, that he needs to apologize for. And then, of course, some people started calling Dan disloyal and all that nonsense. Dude, just because your first job was at Meta, does that mean you'd worship Mark Zuckerberg for the rest of your life? No.
16 no's.
Rowling didn't cast Dan, Emma, and Rupert because she wanted to do them some big favor. She chose them because they were the best for the roles of Harry, Hermione, and Ron at that time. Maybe among the kids who came to audition at that time. It's not like she plucked them out of poverty and changed their lives out of sheer generosity. They wanted an acting gig, and she needed the best actors from the lot for the job. That's how trading works. He didn't do charity by giving them those roles. And then some people are like, she gave them their popularity. Sure, her story helped put them in the spotlight, but they also worked their asses off to get where they're now. Do people even realize what Dan went through? He was constantly working, like for straight 12 years, worked there. Straight. He literally sacrificed his childhood. At just 17, there is a thing that is so disturbing to me. At just 17, he lost one of his own parents, and the very next thing he had to do was to shoot the scene where Sirius Black dies. He wasn't able to attend the funeral, and as a teenager, it did affect his mental health. In the scene where Sirius Black dies, he had screamed so painfully, and it was traumatizing that they had to mute it from the final edit because otherwise it would have been rated R. Do you understand? He was just 17. Then during the next film, he was depressed and struggling with alcoholism. Thank God Dan managed to pull himself together instead of spiraling like so many other child actors. But my question is, where was Rowling's so-called self-righteousness then? Like, she's talking about women's rights. What about child rights? Why didn't she ever say or do anything to protect the child actors working under her franchise? Yeah, Dan was working, but he was just a teenager and his mental health was suffering. It could have turned out so much worse. And let's not forget he even worked through ear infections that he got from filming when he was just 15 during the Goblet of Fire underwater scenes. Dan doesn't owe his success to any one person, he owes it to his own hard work. And even after all that, Dan still didn't say anything against Rowling because he worked under her for a long period of time and he respects her and her opinions. The only thing he did was apologize to the Harry Potter fans in case their sentiments had been hurt. Because yeah, Harry Potter might be Rowling's IP, but Dan has every right to acknowledge the fans' feelings. He contributed enough to that franchise to have a say. Emma doesn't even have much interest in acting anymore, so it's not like she's doing this to have saved her career. She's always been a hot-headed and opinionated, and yeah, sometimes she speaks before thinking, but at least she stands her ground on what she believes in, unlike Rowling. Then comes Rupert Grint. This poor guy didn't even say anything remotely bad about Rowling. Not passively, not politically, not aggressively. All he said, again quoting him from Variety, I don't necessarily agree with everything my auntie says, but she's still my auntie. It's a tricky one. Now, after so many months, she went and retweeted a post that asked, what actors and actresses ruins a movie for you? And she responded with 3 guesses. Sorry, but that was irresistible, with 3 laughing emojis, of course. Like, why is she reigniting the feud? We're back to square one. She just wants everyone to watch her show so she can clear her name, so people will forget about her being accused of racism, homophobia, transphobia, and whatever else. And in the process, she didn't even spare Rupert Grint, the guy who said things in the least harmful way, and dragged him into the mess, acting like these 3 are horrible human beings who should be punished just to promote her new show. That's diabolical. Again, I'll say this, I literally have no problem with her opinions on LGBTQ plus issues, because let's be real, not everyone is going to agree with everything. That's just how the world works. But what she's doing is something entirely different. She wants LGBTQ rights to be revoked, but at the same time, she also wants to convince everyone that she loves the idea of LGBTQ plus. She wants to sell herself as someone who's just protecting women's rights. And why? Because she wants to keep making money while also acting actively against our ideologies and dragging down other people's reputations. She won't even stand by her own beliefs. Instead, she just keeps gaslighting everyone into thinking she's some kind of victim of misjudgment. Rowling, you're not misjudged. And honestly, I still don't have a single adjective to describe you.